expand on some of the more topical issues that relate to blockchain and the cryptocurrency world.
All right. Dr. Akindeinde, thank you very, very much. The questions are going to be coming in very soon. Already I have questions in my mind and in my head. One of the core of tonight's meeting is the anticipated impact on businesses and the economy. Now, we know that some nations of the world are adopting Bitcoin cryptocurrency, and they're legitimizing cryptocurrency, while some nations in the world are saying no way. What is the place of SMEs? Not talking about multinationals, not talking about corporate giants, not talking about big pharma. What is you have a new business, a startup with great potential, maybe a tech startup, maybe a basic startup, someone who runs a fashion designing organization with great plans. What is going to be the impact? Because the anticipated impact, there is already an impact. I'll give you an example, and you know this very much. There is one man on Twitter that talks about Dogecoin. He's manipulating cryptocurrency for me. He just says something today, and a cryptocurrency that had no value, boom, the value goes up. Everybody rushes to that cryptocurrency. And then some persons who had a particular Bitcoin or a particular cryptocurrency, they begin to lose. And then the next day, the same guy comes up after he has done some transaction and says, you know what, mining is bad for the environment, and we're not going to go that route. It crashes again. So the question I'm asking is about the anticipated impact. There will be an impact, but let us look at that organization that is trying to find its feet and is trying to wrap around its head with profit and loss. And now you're talking about blockchain technology, cryptocurrency. You've added something to the question in our hand. You spoke about token. I can edge against something in a digital space. It's intangible. I was going to say, for goodness sake, it's intangible. Everyone here wants to know. And so you will probably do some further deconstruction. What else can blockchain do beyond cryptocurrency? Is there something else it can do? That's one. Secondly, for small businesses, is there any survival position against this? Because blockchain technology looks like a moving train that you can't stop. You can try. The best you can do is to slow it down. I just want to drop those two first. Now, please, for those who are joining us, thank you very much for coming on board. This is a Circle of Influence Intellectual, Financial, Strategic Seminar. We have Dr. Olu Akindeinde. He's an IT consultant and security expert of over 18 years, and he's deconstructing blockchain technology and its anticipated impact on your business. We're going to talk about economy, but first, your business. And so that's why we're here. Now, if you have a question beyond those ones I just asked, I would like you to just use your digital hand, raise it up. I will identify you. I'm not the only one here. I have Buki Okunshakin here, Olago Kebalogun. We're all together. I'm mentioning their names in the unlikely event that my ISP decides to throw me out of the meeting room. We're prepared. We're more than prepared. So your digital hand, and then we'll call on you. If your name is in a very interesting way, you've written it very interesting, we will call you based on the name you have used on the platform. Dr. Akindeinde, help us.
Yes, thank you very much. Well, to be honest, for the average business, for the normal, regular, SME, the impact isn't going to be so much for now. Now, blockchain is, just look at, blockchain is the technology that has come to take away the middleman. Any transaction that you're doing, any kind of thing you're doing that involves a middleman right now. So, which is why the banks are scared. Why? Because what is the role of the bank? The role of the bank is they are middlemen between, I take my money to them, I deposit it, and the person who wants to take loan. So they aggregate those funds. And so right now, it isn't going to so much affect a small business. But I'm going to tell you how a small business owner can leverage the blockchain technology, or can use the blockchain technology to maximize, maybe their own financial, what have you. So, for instance, there is the new wave, even on the blockchain, is something called decentralized finance. Now, decentralized finance is finance without a bank. What does this mean? Right now, if you put your money in the bank, what is the interest rate the bank is giving you on your savings account? Maybe 1%, maybe 2%. Do you know that right now you can, as you are sitting down right now, go download an app called the Binance app, log in, use your Naira to buy dollars. They call it USDT. Now, take your dollars out of it, go to a website called Nexo, and put that Nexo in that, put your dollars in a savings account that would yield 9% to 12%. And this is not on the blockchain. Everything is verifiable. With the bank, when I take my money to the bank, I don't even know what they're doing with it. So it's too centralized. It's black box. But on the blockchain, because everything they have, the technology has it's software that they call it smart contract. So they've written it, and it is permanent on the blockchain. It is immutable. It means that it cannot be changed. It is verifiable and it is traceable. It means that everything as it is going on, you can see, what is happening on there. So that is something that anybody can do right now. And there's a proliferation, of that kind of thing. For an average, a normal, regular business owner, I don't think the person should be too worried about, blockchain, technology, except, of course, maybe the person is looking at, extending, if you're on the internet and you want people to be able to make payments, from, anywhere in the world using, those kind of cryptocurrencies. But on a smaller level, on a regular level, there isn't so much to be concerned about. But there is a lot to be concerned about for the economy, because it simply means that the millennials, if you look at transactions on the blockchain every single day, and this is verifiable, you can go, there are billions of dollars, flowing into the cryptocurrency. And now, if you're saying that, and this is an alternative, an alternative economy that even the real economy isn't aware of. So the truth is, it's going to have huge impact on, because if everybody is converting their Naira to digital dollars, it simply means that the Naira is going to fall a lot more. And if I can stake it on the blockchain, I put the dollar that I have, a representation, just like you asked, what else can the blockchain do? The blockchain can actually help you tokenize anything of value. So there's even talk of Nigeria putting the Naira on the blockchain. So you can tokenize it, because it can actually move from one wallet to the other without, a man in the middle. So those are the kind of things that you can do. And it's going to have far-reaching implications for the economy, because all of a sudden, people now see that instead of me keeping my money in the bank, I can have it in a wallet that I control, and I can be in my house and stake it anywhere. So for instance, an example I can give is, if you want to buy, say, Eurobond, for instance, Eurobond will probably give you like maybe 6%, but you have to go to a capital, an investment house to do that. With blockchain technology, as you are now, all you need to do is get an app, download Binance. There's P2P market, send your Naira to them, they give you the USD, digital USD, and you put it on the blockchain, and then you put it in a smart contract that enables you to earn, say 10% per annum, and you don't have to do anything. And when you want to cash out, you only release your your digital dollar, you sell it back to Naira, and then they credit your account again. Without KYC, all without, without all the KYC, AML, not even as anything, not even an email is required, because that's the way the technology works, and it is foolproof. So really, that is where it's going. That's why a lot of people, especially the newer generation of millennials, are coming in and saying that there's no point in me going to open a bank account. There's no point in me, doing this when I can actually have, my money in decentralized financial system, and I'm still, earning, quite a bit on it. So those are the kind of implications that it will have. And the organized financial system, they've started seeing that this thing is going to eat deep into, the existing financial infrastructure. And that's why they are trying to, put a stop. But we've told them that the only thing they can do is to try to regulate as much as possible. They should regulate the players. They should regulate the people that are setting up, like some of the exchanges where you buy your tokens and cryptocurrencies from. But to the SME, I wouldn't say that, you should worry too much about how it is going to affect your business, for now, except of course, you want to partake in that, you want to partake in that whole ecosystem. So that's the way I'm going to answer, that question. When we talk about tokenization, tokenization simply means dematerializing things. And let me give you an example of what the blockchain can do. Say you have a building, you have a building, and say that building is worth, say, maybe 100 million naira, and you need money maybe you need 5 million, but you know that you don't want to sell the building, but you need 5 million. So what you can do is tokenize that building. So you can actually say that building, create 50 million, since it's worth 50 million naira, you would issue 50 million tokens representing 1 million naira. Now, if you now want 5 million, all you need to do is go onto the blockchain and say, look, I want to raise 5 million. I have this building, and anybody that buys this token would have the percentage of the token that you have bought in that building. So you put it there. So I don't really have to have the physical asset. So that token is like a contract itself. It's like law. It's legal. Like, I have this token. It means that I have, so if the building is worth 50 million naira and I buy 1 million of that 50 million naira, that means I have 1/50 of that. So when you send me the token, it simply means that that is my share of that building. Whatever interest accrues, I will have it. So that's the essence of blockchain. It allows you to tokenize assets, in such a way that that token now becomes, and you don't need any lawyer. You don't need any legal representative. Another thing you can do is, it's just that we're not sophisticated here. There was around 2017, there were companies that came out and started issuing things they call ICOs instead of IPOs. So for instance, let's say Mr. Goke wants to sell, he owns So Fresh, and he wants to expand, but he doesn't want to go to the stock exchange, to list. And he says, look, my business is worth maybe, for instance, let's say it's worth 1 billion naira. Now, I want to expand to other states, and I don't want to go and raise capital in the financial system. I want to raise capital from my customers that believe in this business. So he goes onto the blockchain and he says, since my business is worth 1 billion, let's say I want to sell 10% of that 1 billion, 100 million. Then he issues, 100 million units of So Fresh tokens, and then he puts it for sale. 1 unit is worth 1 naira. So if you buy 1,000 units, you have 1,000, shares, 1,000 tokens representing that. So when at the end of the year they're doing, their financial thing, whatever accrues to me would be given to me on the basis of that shares. And also, I can also pass the token to any other person. That token then becomes a representation of my stake in that business, and all done outside of the Nigerian Stock Exchange, outside of the Securities and Exchange Commission, outside of stockbroking firms. It is just something that is outside of even, all these underwriters, insurance companies. We just know. So that token then represents my stake in it. all on the blockchain, and all he has to do is issue it. So those are the kind of things that you can do on the blockchain. In fact, some people are doing it for things like events. Say I am an event, maybe I'm a comedian, I'm basketball, I want to run a show in a co-hotel. A co-hotel has told me to come and pay 30 million to rent their hall, but I don't want to go and I don't want to use debt. I don't want to go to the bank and borrow money so I'll just go and issue token. I call it basketball show, and I put it on sale, and I ask people that are going to come on that day to buy the token. So once they buy the token, so that token will now be what will grant them access into the show on that day. But I am collecting the money up front, so that I can go and pay a hotel for the show. And all this can be done outside of the financial ecosystem, so those are the kind of things that blockchain technology is bringing forth. That, so you mean I don't need I don't need to go to the bank. So a lot of companies did that in 2017, 2018. Of course, in doing those kind of things, definitely there will be some scams, there will be some, all sorts of things. But these are the kind of possibilities that you have. You can tokenize anything, anybody. For instance, if you look at how do musicians make money in Nigeria? They tour, they go on shows. So imagine someone like I don't know, Whiskey, the Burna Boy, with maybe 10 million followers, and they see that I want to monetize my effort. I can create a token that my fans can buy. And when they buy it, I can even create multiple levels of tokens on the blockchain. Once they buy it, that's giving me money. So that token can now be, can grant access to me. If you want to see me, if you want to be on in my video, whatever, you can start to think of things. You can start to sell tickets. You can tokenize tickets. You can tokenize just about anything that has value and put it on the blockchain, because number one, it can never be counterfeited. So it can, this kind of this training we're having, this talk we're having now, imagine if everybody had to come in, say you don't know, you can create a token for your members, and when they come in, they sign in with that token, so it becomes some sort of identity. So those are the kind of things that you can also do on the blockchain outside of cryptocurrencies that everybody is used to. So you can create tokens, and then you can place them on the blockchain, and you can monitor, and they are you can't falsify them. I hope that answers the question.
Can I ask a question?
Yes, Annie, go ahead and ask a question.
Thank you. I really have enjoyed this. Very enlightening. Two things. You mentioned it cannot be counterfeited, but can you talk about the issue of malware and piracy issues? And the second, for banks in Nigeria, for example, that blockchain is here to stay, just like the disruption that has happened with Uber. How can banks get on board? Like maybe the way JP Morgan has gotten on board, getting their own sort of coins and all, so that they're not sort of left in the dust. Thank you again.
Okay. Yes, that's yeah, very good questions there. I'll take the second one first. How can banks get on board? They can. You see, the truth is there are multiple ways banks can get on board. Firstly, let me tell you what a typical bank can do. What they can say, for if I have an account with say a GT bank. Now, what banks can do with the blockchain technology that they are not looking at is they can tokenize the currencies that they have. So if I take my money to the bank and say I have, say, ₦1 million in my account, what Guarantee Trust Bank can do, for instance, is to create a wallet. And once I deposit my money there, it goes into their vault. Then they now issue me token that is representing that 1 million naira. So they can issue me 1 million naira of GT naira. So much so that I can use that GT naira within the country without touching the physical naira there. Secondly, there are things that banks can do with the blockchain that they're also not looking at, and that is replacing the central switch. If you were, for instance, if you want to transfer money from one bank to the other, you have to go through NIBS, that's NIP central switch, where you send money. Now, for that to work, it means that NIBS has an account in all the banks in Nigeria, because when they debit your account, they have to credit the NIBS account. Then the switch will pass that transaction so that they can debit the NIBS account in the other bank and credit the beneficiary account. Now, that is centralization. Now, imagine you have a situation where you have blockchain replacing that. You see, with the blockchain, the problem with this current financial system is that the transactions go one leg at a time. So when you want to transfer money, or when you go to an ATM, you want to take out money, it will first conduct the debit before conducting the credit. So sometimes you may go to an ATM and the thing has debited you, you've received alert that your money has left, but the beneficiary or the money has not come out of the ATM machine. Or sometimes you use your mobile app, they debit you, but the beneficiary will say, I have not received it, because the debits and credits are done in two transactions. On the blockchain, you don't have anything like that. The debit and credits are done exactly the same time. So you can't have a situation where money leaves your account, there's a debit, and then the other person hasn't been credited. So that's that technology, because it allows for things like atomic transactions to take place. So those are the kind of things that the banks can do. But I think that there is no, it's sort of like there isn't the knowledge base, or maybe they're just not, or maybe it's just the same way, like you said, Uber came and people didn't think that it was going to be a big deal. They're not really looking at it in that light. And that is partially because of what the media is also doing. Every day you check online, you're seeing the price of cryptocurrency. It goes way beyond the price. What people should be looking at is the underlying infrastructure and the technology that is making this thing possible. What exactly is it what is it? Where is Bitcoin and all these cryptocurrencies? Where are they getting their value from? They are getting their value simply from the underlying technology, that I can move value from one place to the other without a central party. That must make some sense. It means that if you have anything on the blockchain, it is yours and yours for life. No bank, no government, no central bank, no institution can take it off you. So those are the kind of things that the banks should be looking at. And then they should also be looking at this decentralized infrastructure. Once you start to tokenize things like gold, people are buying gold now without having access to the physical gold, because I have a token version of gold that resides in my blockchain wallet. People are buying dollar. A lot of if you go to the street now, people are buying. I mean, if you log into Binance, I saw someone's that if on Binance, you can buy dollar with your naira right now, and you don't even have to talk to an aboki. You don't have to meet with anybody. Buy, and then you keep it there, and then when you want to sell it back, you sell it, and they credit your account. Those are the kind of things that are taking place right now, and that the banks are not aware of. So I don't really need to go and buy, dollar and then have physical dollar when I can have the digital version of the dollar. And then furthermore, remittances. Back in the, just a few years ago, for you to send remittances, you have to use Swift and all that. This day and age, if you have a child abroad and you want to send dollars to the child, you don't have to go to the bank. Get your naira, buy the digital dollar, send to him. He will, sell it there, and his bank, you get credited with the dollar, all within 10 minutes. You can move money from here anywhere in the world within 10, 15 minutes, and that money is already in the person's bank account without leaving your house, without going, and that is what is scaring them, that why would we have this kind of thing? So instead of them to look at it and start to key into it, they started, central bank came up with the policy of, banks should not relate, but it has now brought up this ecosystem of peer-to-peer traders, where people have, so I have digital dollars I want to sell. So they have their quotes. In fact, right now, you have the parallel market rate, you have the black market rate, then you now have the digital rates now, because right now, if you go on Binance, Naira is selling for about 507 as opposed to 50, maybe 510, because it's a lot more valuable. There are more people that want the digital, dollar than want the physical dollar, because it's easy to move the digital dollar anywhere in the world. Just like your email, you don't have to carry it, so you can leave it in your wallet and move it across, and then you have access to it.
Dr. Akindeinde,
Yes,
Wow. This is getting serious. I was locked out by technology, but I'm back now. There's a question that Professor Bright asked about fraud and hacking. You started your conversation with the dark web and that rabbit hole that you've not gotten out of. While some persons are working on expanding blockchain technology, do you not think, Professor Bright is asking about the place of hackers, the black hat hackers, and fraud? Some person, because the moment, I've talked about the manipulation as a question, and now, but the subject matter of fraud and hacking of the blockchain system, how secured, how safe? There cannot be, let me leave that, let me allow you to answer. How safe from the place of fraud, from the place of black hackers who say, you know what, we need to get some digital currency. So let's hack somebody. Let's get somebody's finances moved. And then they do it. And is that not a possibility?
Yes, you are right. You see, the blockchain technology itself, cannot be hacked. And why do I say so? It's like saying that the internet is not secure. Can you hack the internet? No, you cannot hack the internet. You can only hack entities on the internet. So you can hack a Gmail, or you can hack a Yahoo, or you can hack, a CNN. But the internet itself cannot be hacked. So the blockchain technology in and of itself is not hackable because it is under the underlying thing is that's why when you hear the name cryptocurrency, the crypto bit is the security bit. It is underpinned by advanced security. It cannot be hacked. However, what can be hacked are the entities. Now, for you, I was talking now about you buying, say for instance, you want to do a transaction, you want to buy, let's just say after this training, you go on and you just say, well, I want to give this a trial. I want to buy in fact, what we're going to do is just before closing, so that we can see how this thing is. I'll ask maybe someone to download a wallet, and I'll send you, cryptocurrency, and you will see how easy, it is, so that we can start to appreciate, these things. Now, where this lack of security comes in is the people that are now building businesses around the blockchain. So if you want to buy, say, the digital dollar, and you want to have digital dollar in your wallet now, you have to go onto an exchange. So when you go onto an exchange, that exchange is an entity, is a business. So if that exchange isn't implementing proper security, then you can hack that exchange. If that that company who has built an infrastructure on the blockchain isn't secure, but the blockchain, underlying blockchain infrastructure itself cannot be hacked. And the reason why a lot of people are being defrauded is basically because of lack of awareness. A lot of people are still not, unlike with your bank account, with the banking system, you have a bank account number, you have a name. On the blockchain, you don't have anything like a bank account. You have what are called keys. So you have a public key and you have a private key. That public key is like your email address. So if I want to send an email to you, it's public. So you give me your email address and I construct an email and I send to you. However, for you to read that email, you need your private key, which is your password. The same thing happens on the blockchain. Your public key is your address. So you see all these addresses that come up. There's no account number. So if I want to send you something like cryptocurrency, I'll send it to you. You give me your address and I'll send it to you. However, for you to be able to unlock that value, it is your private key, which is embedded. So a lot of people do not know the difference. So sometimes you often get people that send them all these phishing emails that, oh, put your private key in here, and then they put it, and the thing with cryptocurrency is anything on the blockchain, just view it as physical asset, like your cash. cash is with you. So the only way anybody can defraud you, or the only way you can lose that cash, is if someone takes it off you. So that means that you have custody of that cash. So the same thing happens on the blockchain. Everything on the blockchain is in your custody. So that's why they say you are now your own bank. You are now your own provider. You are now your own finance. So the money is not kept anywhere. So if you lose your phone, for instance, without having a backup, or if someone steals your phone, that means that that value, is gone. So those are the ways by which people do it. The blockchain itself is not insecure, but the entities around it that's what is not
okay.
secure.
All right. The questions are pouring in, Dr. Akindeinde. They are pouring in torrent. Shegun B says, folks in developed nations have institutional consumer protection measures in place that ensure that they don't get defrauded by registered institutions. How can we in Nigeria ensure we are protected when dabbling into blockchain, given that there is nothing by way of institutional protection?
Thank you for that question. It's been a sore point for us because we also, I'm on the central bank blockchain committee, the adoption of blockchain technology in Nigeria. And you see, our problems are a lot. Number one, the people that manage a lot of these technologies in the central bank, they are, I wouldn't say they're a bit, they've been in the system for a while. They are not young. And to get to understand the technology itself is a bit of a constraint. And you can't regulate something you don't understand. So we've been trying to tell them, look, put regulation in place. So I go to Binance, I buy Bitcoin. For instance, if as you're here now, you send money to me and you say, look, Olu, please get me, this digital dollar. I will send you 500,000 naira. Get 1,000, USD for me in digital. What is, if you send that money to me, there is nothing stopping me from running away with your 500,000 naira. There's no regulation. So if you send your money to an exchange that you want to buy this cryptocurrency or that cryptocurrency, and the exchange runs away with your money, there really is no regulation. So that's what we're trying to tell the central bank as well, that look, let's put regulation in place for some of these entities. Instead of banning them or stopping them, put regulation, which was what came, their own solution was just, look, let's just stop the banks from, conducting any kind of blockchain transaction, so that if people lose money, then nobody's going to come and hold the CBN or the banks responsible for, for that. And that's not the way to go about it. Other countries are regulating. So it means that for you to be a partaker, so if I want to be an exchange for blockchain, they will just do it like the normal, maybe I'll go collect, form, have register, have maybe a capital base or something. That way it starts to become, look, the truth is, if Nigerian Stock Exchange does maybe about 2 billion naira in transactions per day in volume. Now, if you go onto the blockchain, Bitcoin alone, people are doing in a single day, they're doing more than 5 billion a day. And these are from retail people, from you and I, people that are buying 100 naira, 200 naira, 500 naira. So it's a whole ecosystem. Now, there is money coming in and going out of this economy that the government cannot even account for, because it's not going via the traditional medium. So if, for instance, now you buy digital dollar with your naira and you send outside the nation, it doesn't register on any platform because those exchanges are not regulated. So those are the things that we're saying the CBN they have to come to the fore to start regulating. And until that is done, I'm afraid we will not have, we will not have any kind of consumer protection around, anything that is cryptocurrency or blockchain technology.
All right. Dr. Akindeinde, thank you so much. We're making progress. Please keep the questions coming. I see many of us prefer to just type it. How does one in Nigeria get the digital dollar into one's account in the US if one is not resident there or has no bank account in the US?
You cannot do that. However, what you can do is, I'm talking about a situation where, say, you have someone abroad, or you have, a daughter or a son there, or a friend, and you want to send money, or somebody, let's even say someone wants to send money to you from there. the person can buy, the person has dollars, the person will buy dollars with his own account over there, send the dollar to you digitally, and then you can cash out the dollar into your bank account in Nigeria. Or you can also send dollar to that person by buying, use your Naira here to buy the dollar. Okay, let me see if I can share my screen to show you. Let me go to Binance. Let me log into my account and see if I can share my screen.
Okay, Buki, can we make Dr. Akindeinde a co-host so he can share his screen? And please restore my co-host privileges, please, if you don't mind.
Done.
Noted.
Okay, good. I think, Dr. Akindeinde, you can begin to share your screen now.
I would. Okay, I just want to log in so that.
Okay, so that we will not see your password, your code, your key.
Yes.
And the billions of cryptos.
Okay, he hasn't started sharing yet.
I haven't started. I will soon.
Okay. Well, while you are doing that, there's a question that has been asked, the follow-up questions. Right now, there's in the developed nations, they are celebrating blockchain technology.
Okay.
Eventually, are these exchanges not going to become like the current bank?
Great.
Most of the innovations that we want to do away with today were once celebrated. So these exchanges, will they not eventually become like the current banking system?
Yes, they will. In fact, I have a blog that I normally I document things on, and there was an article I wrote, and I said, look, very soon, cryptocurrency, all these blockchain companies would eventually, if they don't become banks, they will probably buy a bank and become banks themselves, because the amount of the volume of transaction that is going through them, it is incredible. So I think that eventually one would either buy a bank and then leverage that banking infrastructure, because you need an on-ramp. So for you to get into the cryptocurrency world, you need a fiat on-ramp. So in fact, just before the central bank banned banks from interacting, Providence Bank was doing something like that. So when you have a cryptocurrency account, they actually give you when you have a cryptocurrency wallet, they actually give you a Providence account. So we could actually transfer as if you have a Providence account, bank account. So you could actually move money and cash out into that bank. But they came up with that, and then they stopped it. So very soon they will become that. But at the same time, they still need regulation, which is why we're saying, then if you look at the way Coinbase is like a bank in America. Coinbase is a cryptocurrency bank. All they do is they do cryptocurrency. But because they have a favorable, I mean, they even listed their shares about a month or so ago. So they have recognized that this is part of our economy. Why don't we bring, all these companies, Coinbase, Gemini, the Winklevoss twins that started, that have 1% of all the Bitcoin in existence. They also set up Gemini like a bank. And then they have access, so the government, so they can even take their taxes and all these kind of things off it. And that's what we are telling the central bank as well too. Look, bring all these people into this ecosystem. Give them the privileges of, even if you're not going to give them a banking license, give them some kind of, come up with a blockchain license. So if you want to be an exchange, go and be regulated, go and take a blockchain license, go and have a capital base of maybe 100 million or whatever, a billion or whatever they want to make it. And then, you have them into the ecosystem and they start to do KYC, they start to do all these AML checks, and then they bring them into the ecosystem as opposed to, stopping them. But here, I mean, I'm sure sometime they will revert the ban, maybe after they know a lot more about what they're doing. And then maybe we can now start talking from it. But for now, everybody's just operating, operating in silos. Okay.
Thank you. You're getting ready to share your screen, Dr. Akindeinde.
Yes.
There's a question here. It's a question that I also have had in my mind, and this is from Goke Balogun as well. What are these cryptocurrency being used for that it's generating so much and giving you so much interest?
Okay.
What are they? What transaction that is generating profits with which I get paid interest when I invest in the website you talked about? I mean, what are they?
Okay.
What is the value? You spoke about value, taking out the middleman. I mean, if I want to get value, let's use Mr. Goke, So Fresh. I know the quality of parfait, the type of meal. I know the branches. I know the innovations. Cryptocurrency, we don't know. We just see someone says invest, buy X amount of crypto, you will get this much interest. It looks like, a Las Vegas movie scene that the whole world has bought into.
Well,
and the whole world is trying to give it legitimacy. Okay. Yes, Dr. Akindeinde. I like your response when I mentioned Las Vegas. You understand what I'm talking about?
The truth is, you're not far from the truth. You see, any piece of innovation that comes up, people are going to find different uses for it. At the beginning, when the internet was created, the people that took on the internet at the onset that saw value in it were the people in the pornography industry, because all of a sudden they now found a channel of distributing, whatever they on a global scale. So if you remember back then as well, when internet was going to come to Nigeria, it was almost always it was banned. The man that started Link Serve, he went to UK and he used the internet for the first time. And then he came to Nigeria and he said, look, he wanted to start an ISP. So he made a demonstration at TBS here, and he called, big people, bankers, government officials, and he connected his local telephone NITEL line to his computer. He dialed an ISP that was in the UK, and then he got internet for the first time. Guess what they did? They arrested him because they said that NITEL lines were not meant to be used for anything other than voice calls. They did not understand that with the NITEL line, there are two cables. One was for data and one was for, so to them, they were like, this must be, this must be fraud. This must be something. How are you able to connect line to a computer and then you now dial a UK number and then something is now appearing on the computer screen that there is. So he was later on that they now saw that, look, this was the only way he could demonstrate internet to them. And then he now showed them that the porn industry now started growing, because all of it, when last do you see people selling CDs? Because it's now a distribution mechanism. The same thing happened with cryptocurrency. The people that saw value in it were people in the underworld, the people in the dark web that knew that, oh, you mean that I can receive payments in something that was not traceable to me. And that was the whole genesis of, oh, it's being used on the dark web, is being used for, and any piece of technology can be used for good and bad. You can buy a knife today, you can use it in your kitchen, you can use it to kill people. It's not a function of what the technology can do. It's a function of the human being, which is why you place regulation on entities, on people that use that technology. You don't place regulation on the technology itself, which is what we are failing to get here. And coming back to your question of what people do with cryptocurrency. Now, let me just quickly show you a bit of this. This is Binance, for instance. This Binance you can open in Nigeria here. So you see here, I don't have anything. You can, if I go onto the peer-to-peer market. So if I go onto the peer-to-peer market, let's go onto the peer-to-peer market of Binance. I hope you can see my screen. Now, this is the peer-to-peer market of any kind of currency. So I'm going to pick, say, USD.
Buy USD.
Now, well, that's what a lot of people are, that's what most people are. Now, you see here, these are all the guys that are willing to sell me USD with and their rates. So if I have Naira, I can move Naira now. So if I have, this guy is willing to sell me at 506.97. This is 506.98. You can scroll down, you see a lot. You can see all the pages reaching almost 23. So if I want to buy now, I simply click on buy. So when I click on buy, the person's account, you show me this person, this blue mine. Number one, I can even see his completion rate. This guy has 81.94% completion rate. He has done 254 orders. This guy has 1,137 orders. His completion rate is 95. So I may probably want to buy from this guy, even though his rate is slightly higher. And then he has, you give you the amount he can sell between 187,500 and 187,900. So we had the different rates. So let's say I want to just buy $100 worth. I will just click on buy. So when I click on buy, I don't think I've because this is a new account. Okay, I've not done this. You will give me the account number of that person. So I'm going to see. So let's say I want to buy $100 is about times 506. So you give me his account number. I will log into my mobile app, send the money to him, and then I'll come back to the app and click on I have paid. Now that money goes into an escrow system where he cannot access it until he has transferred. So what he will now transfer the USDT to me. Now, once I have the USD in my account, guess what I can do with it? Now, these are companies anywhere in the world where you can see here on my USDT, these guys can give me up to, can see that my USDT is called Tether. I can get up to 12% annual interest rate. So I could take that dollar, send it to my account here. Another one that does it is Celsius. Celsius is an app as well. I can go here, log in, and then let's see their own rates. On their USD, I can also get up to, okay, I can get, so I say how much I want to do. Let's say 5,000. The crypto I want to use, let's say it is USD. And then for how many years? I want to give it for 4 years. So this will give me 8%. So I see this 8% is, well, is it okay? This ones will give me up to 12%. So I'll pick my choice. I'll send it to them and I'll just wait. In a year's time, I have put in 5,000. I'll just come and collect my with the 12% interest rate and then take it back to Binance and then sell it to Naira. That is what people are doing. That is what people are doing. And this is bypassing the entire financial infrastructure. So people are, so if you have excess cash, instead of buying treasury bills that is giving you 2%, the treasury bills is so low now, it's about maybe 3% for 180 days. And Naira is even devaluing. I can easily have and if I don't even want to do this, I can have my dollar and just have it in my wallet here on Binance and just leave it there. So it is there and it is digital. It is not, this is not dumb account. This is not a bank domiciliary account. This is not, it is USD that is digital, that is being held here. And I can do the same thing for crypto. So a lot of people are doing, if you look at the markets, let me take you to the, if you look at the market, let me take you to, now another thing people do with cryptocurrency is they trade it. Just like people trade dollar against euro every day. So some people look at the market. So right now, Bitcoin to Naira is what, let's say here, it is worth, is like 43 million on this exchange. Now, if you look at the order book, you will see here that these are people that are selling, these are people that are buying. So people are buying and selling. So some people will say, well, if I buy maybe 0.01 Bitcoin at 43,000 Naira, I will wait for it to get to like 45,000 Naira or 46,000 or 50,000 Naira, whatever it is, and sell it and profit off that difference. So some people are doing that. And that's why if you have, I don't know if you have younger ones these days that are in school, they'll just tell you, uncle, can I borrow 500,000 Naira? You say, for what? They won't tell you what they want to do with it. Some of them are trading with the money. They just buy Bitcoin in the morning, when it is maybe 40,000 Naira, they sell in the evening when it's 50,000 Naira, they take 10,000 Naira difference and they recycle every day. So before you know it, you're making 10,000 Naira every day for 30 days, you have made 300,000 Naira and they return back your money and then they start trading with the rest. That's what these people, if you go to places like Port Harcourt, if you go to Asaba, if you go to all these places, people are not opening bank accounts. People are not using traditional financial, these are people. All these prices you are seeing here, these are orders that are placed by people, human beings. So this guy wants to buy, 0.1 at 43.9 in Nigeria here. In fact, if you look at the daily, you can see here the volume. You can see in fact, let me go to volume. In fact, Nigeria has the highest coin market cap. The second highest transaction volume after the US of cryptocurrency trading
in the world.
In the world, Nigeria is the second highest. So it means that people are using money to trade in and out of this thing. Now look at the global transaction volume for Bitcoin in the last 24 hours. This is what I have marked. In the last 24 hours, there's been 38.9, almost $40 billion that has been exchanged in and out of crypto in 24 hours. So this is not a market this is not something that is to be toyed with. The total cryptocurrency market capitalization right now, I'm marking it up here, is over $1.3 trillion. That is the market capitalization. This is bigger than Apple, bigger than
Dr. Akindeinde, a digital asset has become a global phenomenon. But there are questions that we have here, and we're really grateful. There are questions that we have. And someone has asked, Bola Gidado has asked, what are the other uses of value of blockchain technology beyond cryptocurrency transactions? What else can blockchain technology be used for beyond financial crypto world, the world of crypto? What else can? And then we're going to come to a question. Nexo, I can see Nexo on our screen. What is Nexo's business? What do they do? Okay. What do they do? I mean, I'm sure some of these organizations did not exist 20 years ago, 15 years ago, Celsius and the likes of them. But first thing first, beyond cryptocurrency exchange and all, what else can we use blockchain technology for? What else?
Yes, blockchain technology can be used in a myriad of applications. I'll give you a few. Okay, now you can one that readily comes to mind. I'm going to give you a few. One is things like when you go to school and you're giving your certificate. Now you see, you find out that, I mean, with our politicians, you find out they'll say, oh, maybe they forged certificate or something. Do you know that you can issue a certificate on the blockchain? You can issue anything that has value. Passports can be issued on the blockchain. That is very, in fact, a country now, I think is in Europe, just started issuing all the people that all their citizens that they vaccinated for COVID. They started giving them blockchain certificate that you can verify on the blockchain. So if they enter anywhere, you want to know whether the person, they just give you a QR code, you scan it, and then they know that it takes you to the blockchain, and you can see when the vaccine was issued, by who, is it Pfizer, is it Moderna, then the date, everything is there. You can use the blockchain for that. You can use the blockchain for things like land titles. So if you're going to buy a house, how am I sure that the title deed of the house is original? So the Ministry of Lands or can now create, or for all the lands, it can now start to issue tokens. Every time you can dematerialize something, you can create a token for it, and it will be on the blockchain. So if you want to go, you can now tokenize the entire land infrastructure of a nation, such that the tokens are there. So if I say that this land belongs to me, then I have to have that token that is issued by this authority, to back it up. That way, and that token could only have been issued by that authority, number one. And number two, it's not possible for you to counterfeit it. Number three, you can use blockchain for voting. Let me give you an example. Now, when you vote, let's say we're going to hold an election here.
For voting.
Voting, yes.
Voting that brings in good leaders.
Yes.
Voting.
You can, yes. Now, let me give you a simple example of how you can even use technology to do voting. Now, let's assume you want to vote for a president here now, okay? Want to vote for a new president. Now, normally, people will go do ballot boxing and then you count. There is room for fraud in that aspect. Now, imagine now we want to do voting and we just say, you know what? Don't even let us even talk about blockchain. Let's just say we want to vote electronically. What you can do is, let's say we go to a reputable bank. We just say we open 2 accounts. Now, the first account, let's say the accounts are 001 and 002. So Mr. A is 001 account, Mr. B is 001, 002. So if you want to vote for Mr. A, you go and you open an account with that bank, and then the bank credits you with just 1 naira. So if I want to vote for Mr. A, I go into my GT Bank account, I transfer my 1 naira to Mr. A. If you want to vote for Mr. B, you transfer your own 1 naira to Mr. B. After we have all finished voting, what do? We simply go and tally up the account balance of Mr. A and account balance of Mr. B, and we know the winner. Abi? No mago, no nothing. That is what the blockchain can also do. You have a series of keys. So you allocate this, you want to vote for Mr. A or Mr. B. This is his key, and then you create vote tokens. So when you are doing your what you might call the registration, voter registration, once you have registered, they now send you a vote token. What talking about that, if anybody can just download this app on the App Store, it's called Solar Wallet. Solar Wallet. It looks like, I don't know if you can see this. It's called Solar Wallet.
The same
it's blue.
solar.
SOLAR wallet. Yes. Now, once you download, so that I can show you how this thing, works. So once you download the Solar Wallet, just create an account. It's very simple, and you just go to receive. Once you receive, you click on just click on add account. Once you click on add account, put any name you want, and then go to receive. Receive will show you a QR code. Once you show your QR code, just put it on the screen there. Put it on the screen, and I'll send something to it so that you see how fast blockchain transactions are. So at the end of the day, we're talking about votes. So you create a vote.
Who is doing this for us? Anyone?
I will. Yeah, anybody.
Okay,
Yeah,
so the first person to download it and put the QR code will be the person to.
Yes.
But there's a question while we're downloading. All these apps and all that are being downloaded with regards to blockchain technology, do they not compromise your internal security of your personal data? I mean, like the VPN, there are safe VPNs and there are not so safe VPN. And a number of people have alleged that most of the VPN will compromise whatever security you have on your phone with regards to your private data.
Of course, when you have things like this App Store, anybody can publish apps on the App Store. But it's incumbent upon one to know. I mean, if you're going to download an app, I mean, you should know what you're downloading. I mean, in fact, if you go onto the App Store, there are even fake apps for banks and all that. So, I mean, that is an individual responsibility, if I may say. But these apps, the other apps, they are verified apps. I mean, there are apps for the blockchain that are verified. And the truth is, nobody, no matter the app, they cannot steal, they cannot compromise, your phone or your wallet. Because for them to compromise it, they will need access to your private key. And unless you give your private key out, I'm going to show you once you download that Solar Wallet now. Unless you give your private keys, it's equivalent to you giving the email to your password to someone. Unless you give it out, then you cannot be compromised. No app can compromise, no matter what the app is, unless you give out your private key. So I'm going to demonstrate it once somebody is able to download the app and just create an account on the app. It's just go to add account. It's very straightforward. Put any name and then it creates you say create account. You don't even have to put a password. Just say create account for now.
who has done it. I hope we're not filled with too many skepticism, because I would have expected that by now somebody would have posted on the.
Maybe it's taking time. Maybe it's taking time.
Okay, there's a question here. It says we've talked so much about the need for regulation of entities within the blockchain. Let's talk on crypto ecosystem. Does that not eventually bring us round back to where we are at the moment, about the central control and what it was meant to solve? Blockchain technology was to remove the middleman, to make things much easier, eliminate all the KYC, all the bottlenecks and bureaucratic complexities. By the time you bring in the dimension of regulation, you're likely going to have a scenario where somebody wakes up and says, you know what, I don't like that that entity. I mean, I tried to trade on it, it got me angry. Every entity that uses so and so algorithm is no longer safe. And then, I mean, because once there's a human element involved, you can't completely rule out sentiments and all these dimensions. So, okay, somebody is asking a question here. What I see is Solar Stellar Lumens wallet.
Yes.
Is it the same?
Yes. It's the same. Yeah, it's the same.
Okay, it's the same. Rico Imo is the same.
Yeah, it's the same. It's the same. So once you download it, just create an account, and I'll send you, so we can see how that transaction. If you're on the screen, you can just flash your what you might call it, flash your QR code. Go to receive, flash your QR code on the screen, or copy this long string, put it in the.
Sunday Musa has sent something on the chat. Can you see what Sunday Musa posted?
Let me see. Where's the chat? Let me see. The chat. Let me see. Okay. Yes. I can see. Yes. Okay. I'm going to send something to it now. If I can get to my computer.
Sunday Musa, you must let us know the moment you get the what you're about to receive. And yes, for whatever you're about to receive, Sunday Musa, you cannot keep it to yourself. You cannot. You must not. And that is a challenge now, because in the absence of all the KYC and all the elements that Sunday Musa has said, I will. The ability for anonymity is too delicate. The anonymity.
I will explain the anonymity. I would explain to you which will now tie in again into the regulation thing. Now let me see if I can share this other screen. Let me see if I can share.
Sunday Musa is waiting. Don't forget.
Yeah, I want to share the screen before. Now, can you see the screen now?
Yes.
Now, this is what he sent. This is his address, right? So I want to send him. So this address is representation on the blockchain. So I'm going to send him. So I'm going to say, okay, I'm going to send him, say, $10 worth of XLM. So I'm going to send $10. I'm going to put a message there. I'm going to say, hello. Okay, so I'm going to send this. So you can see it's 38.7 XLM. So I say send. So it says I'm sending to this person. I say send. Now, okay. Now, you should let me see. Okay, so I've sent.
Yeah.
So you should have received 38.7 38.70 XLM. Can you confirm that, please? Now, whether he confirms it or not, I can always confirm. And how? Now, I will go on to this view transaction. Now, if I go on to this view transaction, this is where, let me share the other screen again. Let me share my browser. But let me share my desktop. Has Mr. Musa seen it? Okay, he's posted, 38.707. Yes, he's received. Now, what we have just done is the easier, it could be anywhere in the world. It could be in Tajikistan. Now, this is 38.7, that's $10 worth of. Now, the reason why he cannot claim that he hasn't received it is if you look at this, you will see here this is now the ledger. This is what they call the blockchain ledger. This is what the banks run as their core banking. Now, what you will see here, you see this account sent this value to this account. So I can see that transaction as 38. So he cannot tell me that he has not received this because the ledger has seen it. And this transaction is irreversible. I cannot reverse it.
Wow.
It's pushed. It is irreversible. Unlike with your bank where you just receive alert, oh, they're taking maintenance charge. How is a bank logging into my account and taking maintenance charge on my behalf? So that means that I could jolly well get to the bank tomorrow and they tell me that my 1 million has disappeared. So with this, it is irreversible. It is pushed. Now, what can he do with that? What can he do with that $10 that I've sent to him right now? Now he can go to this place, Ultra. So he has that $10. Number one, he might decide to say, well, if he needs it $10, let's assume it's a lot more than that. Let's assume it's $10,000. He can go to Binance. He can go to Binance and sell that XLM, to Naira and then get the Naira in his account. If he doesn't want to do that, he can go to something like this. This is Ultra. This is a website, an application that allows you to get yield on your cryptocurrency. So what you can do here is, let's go to our products. So I think I have it open somewhere. Ultra, sorry. Okay, so what he can do now is with that, XLM, he can start to earn 5% annual APY, annual percentage yield on that XLM, all by just staking it here. So you can log in, with that app, send it to this, they will give you their YXLM, and every day, and they give you daily, you get your yield every single day. Earn interest on your crypto is now easier. Another thing he can do, he can convert that XLM to dollars. So you can say YUSD. Now, if you convert it to dollars, Ultra YUSD. If you convert it to dollars, he would earn 9%. So let's assume I've just sent him that. Let's assume it's more than $10. Let's assume it's $10,000. He can start to earn 9% on that $10,000. And the way they pay it every day. So the 9% divided by 100 times 365, it comes to 0.0, and they pay you every single day into your wallet. You just get it. Just the same way I've sent it now. You just get it. You don't have to do anything. Nothing, and you yet earn interest. You have not gone through a bank. And when you're 9% after a year, and then you can cash out at any time. Unlike with a bank, these are term deposits. You can cash out at any time, send it back to your Binance, and sell it for the digital dollar or Naira. Because just like you have buy here, if you look at the peer-to-peer, just like you have buy for the naira, you also have sell. So these are people that are buying. These are people that are buying naira for dollar. Then you also have sell on here as well. So you can buy and then you can sell. And buy naira.
Wow.
So and then you can cash out to your bank. This is going through, it's not going through any bank. And then it is not making, there's no record of any of these transactions in the general ledger of the country. So Nigeria, we don't even know how much is leaving our shores. We don't know how much is coming in. We only know what is coming in through the bank. So that's what we're saying. Regulate this entity. So a company like Binance, regulate them so that when a Mr. Osas wants to sell dollar, you will know that, oh, this man wants to sell $118,000 naira to dollars. It will be on record. Mr. MYD wants to sell 100,000. It will be on record. So you would at least know that you know how much naira is being converted to digital dollar or digital or Bitcoin, and then you know how much is being, and people are using this medium for cross-border payments, because as I'm here now, I have my family, they live in the UK. I don't, every time I send money, I don't use this. I just send them cryptocurrency. They have an account, they cash out. In fact, there are ATMs where you can cash out as well over there. So you just go in there, you send your, and then money comes out of the ATM, of the crypto ATM. So those are the things that, you know, and over there, they already know that they need to regulate. So they are regulating all these. That's why you hear that, oh, Binance is facing regulation in the UK and you know, but here, these people are just operating without any form of regulation. The government, CBN, doesn't know that. I mean, how did Mr. Osas get hold of 500 and, you know, how did he get the USDT? How did he get digital dollars? How all these people, look at, there are a lot of them. These are up to 24. There are a lot of them buying and selling. You see, some of them even want to sell up because they know the naira is 24. Some of them even want to sell for 823. You know, because they know that at some point, when you exhaust all those top people, you will come and buy your dollar at 823. And that is what is crashing the, you know, the economy, the real economy here. Because by the time people start to hear that, oh, dollar is selling for 823 on a digital exchange, then obviously, you know, people are going to raise their own dollar rate here as well. And if the volume is so much on this digital exchange here, it's going to affect, you know, what, and this is, central bank is not going to be able to cope with this kind of thing. When we are saying that there are, every single day, 4 billion to 5 billion is being exchanged into all these cryptocurrencies on a regular basis.
All right, Dr. Akindeinde, I don't want us to go. We've been doing this for over an hour, and we're going on 2 hours in some few minutes, and we don't want the people to leave. More questions are still coming. However, since Dr. Akindeinde has gladly obliged us, I know that for most of us here, our knowledge of blockchain technology has changed, has increased. There's a value. I'm not going to go into so much speech because Olagoke Balogun is coming to round off and appreciate Dr. Akindeinde. I believe that we're likely going to continue this conversation. And since Dr. Akindeinde has gladly obliged us, like Oliver Twist, but of a modern nature, thank you for accepting our future invitations, which you have already accepted, because it's very, it's very important. I'm grateful. I'm going to yield the floor now to Olagoke Balogun. We need to round off now because the beauty of this, I don't want to talk much. The freshman. All right. Daddy Fresh, over to you.
Thank you so much. First, I want to thank everyone for coming, for this session. I'm very sure, at least I can speak for myself, it's been quite insightful. It's opened up different perspective to what we know about the blockchain and cryptocurrency. Of course, it's still very much in its infancy. And that's why it was important for us to start to understand what the implications are for us, for our business, for the economy, and generally for everything that we do. Dr. Akindeinde, we're really grateful. You've talked so passionately about this. You're basically doing this, for free, and you've given us so much content. I see how passionate you are, and I'm sure if there are unbelievers in the room, I'm sure we'll have 80% of them already converted, even if they don't know what the next steps are, right? But I am now a convert, right? So I want to thank you so much for bringing your wealth of experience, your wealth of knowledge. It was very evident you didn't hold back and you shared so passionately. Thank you so much for your time. We've taken 2 hours of your time this evening. I want to thank you very much. And also, like Biodu said, thank you in advance of the ongoing conversation. Thank you so much. We're grateful. On behalf of the COI, which is a Circle of Influence, a group of entrepreneurs and professionals. Thanks for coming on board, and we hope to be able to count on you, in the future as well. Wish you well, wish your family well, and thank you everyone for coming out this evening. Like Bill said, you can send your questions on the group, and then we'll find a way to reach out to Dr. Akindeinde, and then we can continue the conversation. Thank you very much. I guess that brings us to the end of the meeting. We promised like 2 hours. We have about 13 minutes or thereabout. If you want to unmute yourself, say something to Dr. Akindeinde, or just chat generally, I think we can take the remaining 10 minutes to do that.
Please
Thank you
don't
very
ask
much.
any question that will lead to another question. Dr.
No
Akindeinde,
questions.
for now, no more. He's not taking any question. He has accepted our future. Yes, to join Circle of Influence, there is a number here that you can send a message to if you're interested, to join. We're a group of global upcoming entrepreneurs with global impact and all. But everyone, it's been a great time. Thank you so much. You can unmute yourself. The numbers are displayed on the chat section. We're not going to close the meeting room. Dr. Akindeinde, we can't thank you enough. There's a question I'm itching to ask you, but I will ask you offline. It's a very, very lovely, selfish question. I know some people have questions as well, but please be part of COI. We're doing great stuff on that platform. I want to be quiet. Yeah.
Yes. Thank you so much, everyone. Thank you so much, Goke. Thank you, Abiodun. Thank you so much, Dr. Akindeinde. Thank you, everyone, for logging on. And Fesa has posted the phone number in the chat box. So if you're interested in joining, please do contact us through that number.
Thank you very much for having me. It's been a pleasure. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr.
Akindeinde. You've really been a blessing today. Thanks a lot.
Thank you very much.
And thanks COI too. Thanks a lot for doing this.
You are welcome. You are welcome.
Thanks.
Awesome. Okay. We still have more messages there. Thanks a lot. People are thanking Dr. Akindeinde. I think Dr. Akindeinde is part of your security architecture that you're using the digital backdrop. So we have no idea of where your location.
Oh, okay. I'm actually, well, it's by default because most times, we're all on Zoom these days. So
yeah,
it's just, let me see if I can.
It's very, when I saw it, I'm like, okay, doctor is being very,
I'm in my house.
Okay. That's a good one.
Yeah, thank you very
much. Buki,
yes, thank you.
All right now.
Awesome job. Well done.
Thank you very much.